Welcome to the instructional portion of the video. You can get tabs and backing tracks if you go to my website, www.erichaugenguitar.com. Let me briefly talk about the tools I'm using to make the sounds I'm making. This is a beautiful early 90s made in Japan Telecaster 52 reissue, factory Bigsby, USA American vintage reissue pickup. I'm going into my board using my Strymon Deco for a little bit of saturation, my Strymon Flint for a little bit of reverb. Thank you to my kind friends at Meze Audio for these really nice sounding headphones. They made tracking a real pleasure. Now on to the learning. Ron Wood's opening lick. Let's take a look at that. So, this is kind of a lesson on relative minor, also the cage system. It depends on how you want to think about it. The song's in C, right? There's a C chord. We could, play blues on it, but that's going to sound bluesy. So he's doing the old trick of starting his pentatonic scale, with the pinky, kind of where this one, the way I explain relative minors is if you're gonna do blues, just switch it out for your pinky and then you're automatically in the relative minor. And of course, yeah, that would be A minor. Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, just tons of people play in this position. When you want that pretty sound, if you're playing a pretty song, that's more likely what you want to do. So that little opening lick, we are delicately at 5 and 5 of the D and G, and we very deftly hammer on only the 7 of the D string there. And then a lonely 5 up there on the G, and then we switch back over to 5 and 7 of the A. And then back to a 5 on that G, the 5 and 7 again of that D, 5, 7, 5. That lick is actually tricky because the jump of, that's kind of like one of the hardest licks in it, is landing that little opening cleanly. And then his melody there, because we're out of this position, that's kind of his main thing there, and that is, same scale. You can add a few notes to a minor pentatonic, or, in this case, it's major pentatonic, to make it into a full major scale. And so, yeah, he's adding like one note in, just enough to match Rod's vocal melody. 5, 6, 8, 6, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, and this is key. That 7, it's just a half bend, and you catch it. because you don't want to go. That's a little too sad to let it come down. And then there's any number of little fills he does at the end, because if that first part is all for the C chord, and then this little part actually lands on the F, it's still on an F. So this is caged system. This is an F that looks like a C. 8, 7, 5, 6. Useful form. So he's going to do fills out of that, but still thinking of that original scale, which gives him things like, which is, 6 or 5 and 6. Hammer on that 7 cleanly, and come back off. Move over. That's kind of like his opening thing. You see me do Hendrix and Curtis Mayfield lessons. This thing in general, that smooth and dainty hammer-on is kind of a key to this classic R&B style of playing. And then it comes around, it's going to do that main melody 3 more times. But every other time, he gets an extra 6 in there the next 3 times. Right here. So I had 5 and 6 there. And then the second fill, again, it's based off of that F shape that looks like a C. So that's, you're there. 5, 7, that's the first F. And then, that's all it is. And I think if you really want to get Ron Wood's sound, I could be wrong. It sounds like he up-picks a lot. Kind of makes things a little, pushes them just a little behind the beat and makes them a little more staccato that way. But I just play it the way I would play it, so I'm using more down plucks than he would. But if you're like a super duper Ron Wood purist, see if that makes it sound more like Ron Wood. Goes around again. Again, some variant. I would encourage you to just make up your own. I mean, Ron Wood, there's no way he plays this the same way twice. Once more. And then the song goes to a G, and he does a beautiful diagonal G major pentatonic run, which, another key to kind of classic rock sound are these scales. Those scales that you play, that kind of, I call them the diagonal scales. So that is 5 on the D string. 7's got to slide to 9. So, wait, 1. So, sorry, 5, 7 to 9, 7 to 9, 8, 8, 9, 8. So that's his G lick, which makes sense because G, hey look, there's a G there. And this is so cool, the song drops to an F, and he does this very inspired little pedal steel kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. He's up here, flat across 12s. He's got his middle finger on the 13 of the B, and then he's going to hammer on the 14. Which is kind of implying an F major 7. I love that lick. I didn't see that one coming. So that's his F lick, which you can kind of see an F chord there. A lonely 12, and then another one of those dainty R&B hammer-ons. So I'm at the 12 and 12 of the D and G, hammering on to the 14. Get it off, down to that 10 there. And then he could be doing that there, but I back it up to 5 and 7 for the steal away, which is, again, he's back to that relative minor position. So soulful. So that's, again, a slow, this time you'll let that 7 come down on the G. That's so pretty. So 7 goes up, down, 5, and then here comes that 6 again because the chord's in F. Again, that dainty hammer on. And then again, he's playing out of that F shape there. That's just hammer on, 5 to 7, 5, 6. And then does it again. Second time he doesn't do anything fancy, and then do other verses. In my version, it just cuts back, out to just playing those notes of the C chord there, based off of that shape, 5 and 5. Pedal steel comes in, and then I'm seeing this F chord here, so I'm just going That's all I'm doing there. I see this C inversion here. 7, 5, 5. And then there's that one little line. So that's out of C down low. So 2, 3 on the A string. 2, 3, 5, 5, 5. 2, 3, 5, 3. And then, I just took some liberty to do some kind of, again, playing with that 7 on that G. Depending on what my mood is, I'm just kind of recycling various things I heard in the song there. And then, yep, it goes back through the turnaround. The second time there's a little more, on the G. So here I am. That's a G, by the way. This is kind of a B.B. King thing. I'm going to take that 10, push it up a little bit before I get back to that 8, and then it's all the same after that. There you have it. Well, I hope that was interesting and helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.